Hello everyone, welcome to the session. Guys, today we are going to talk about previous year papers, and from those previous years also I've chosen very important question types, the types which are likely to appear in the upcoming exam as well. So all of you know that registrations of MAHCET, Maharashtra CET, they are already open. You also know that we've launched certain crash courses also, latest one also we've launched in here. So keeping in mind, the exam pattern, what kind of questions appeared in the previous year papers. So keeping in mind all of that, questions for today's class have been chosen. So the agenda for the class is, guys, it will give you a very good idea about what is the level of the exam, how prepared you are, and also will acquaint you well with different types or structures of questions that appear in the paper. As you all very well know that this particular exam, Maharashtra CET, it will test you on reading, it is going to test you on grammar, it is going to test you on vocab as well. So all the aspects when it comes to English language, all the aspects are actually tested, because when it comes to aptitude exams, these are the three aspects that most of the exams test you on, that is reading, grammar and vocab. All three components are very much present in Maharashtra CET as well. So let us begin today's discussion, guys. A lot of you have already joined. Free mocks. Yes, Sanket, we do have, in fact, towards the end of the class, I'll share the details. There is, we keep on having all India free mock tests. So today also, I'm going to share the details for the same. Okay, so just hold on, watch the entire session. Towards the end, I'll share the details for the all India mock as well. Okay. Okay. See, Jayant, when it comes to Maharashtra CET, since I mentioned that all kinds of questions, they do come in this particular exam. You have reading, you have, vocab, you have grammar. So when it comes to all the three aspects, and you know that all three are tested, so it is likely that all kinds of questions are going to be present. More details I'll give you once we start looking at the questions, and alongside questions I'll keep on talking about the strategy and methodology for them as well. Okay, sure, absolutely, Krishnakant, please go ahead. All right, guys, let's start. Let's begin our session. The first one, okay. All right, before we start, here is the schedule, guys. Here is the YouTube schedule that we follow on YouTube, MBA schedule and the CAT schedule that we follow on YouTube. So Monday to Sunday, every day, we bring you different types of sessions. We start in the morning, 10 a.m. with the editorial session. Then we have sessions on VARC, we have sessions on GK, Quant, DILR. Every component of the paper is covered. So guys, as far as my classes go, so every day at 12, exactly at 12, now from Monday to Friday, every day we meet and we look at VARC sections of CAT exam and for other exams as well. All right. YouTube पर कब तक चलेगा? Arpit, every day, every day we're going to have these sessions. Okay. So 12 p.m. session, when it comes to VARC, 12 p.m. session is a regular here. So regularly, every day, if you're consistent with the session, every day you're watching it. So one component or the other, we'll keep on discussing in the session. Okay. All right, let's move forward then, guys. Also, I did tell you that we are organizing special series, wherein you will get to interact with successful candidates in CAT, people who are high achievers. So on 4th of July at 7:30 on our app, on Gradeup app, you can interact with Anadi Chaturvedi, and on 3rd of July at 3, you can interact with Urvika Sonar. As you can see, both of them are high achiever. Anadi Chaturvedi is from IIM Rohtak, and Urvika Sonar, she got an all India rank of 99.98 percentile in MAHCET. So would be a very good idea to actually listen to their journey. What did they do? What were their go-to study material, and what were the other things that they followed or they did to reach where they are. Okay, so Sanket, sufficient by starting through YouTube for MAHCET. So Sanket, to answer your question, you know, we can't really say that it is enough or it's not, because everybody is different. For somebody who already has a very good level of English, I'm specifically talking about VARC, okay? So somebody who already has very good level of English, somebody who already is getting a very high accuracy in the questions, for that person it might suffice. Along with, you know, if that person is doing some mock tests as well, so that might suffice. But, you know, for somebody who's an absolute beginner, I doubt. Then you ideally should opt for a particular course which takes you through all the aspects step by step. So it really depends on where you are, which stage of preparation are you in. Okay? All right. Jayant, we'll talk about that also. Today I've chosen some questions for you. In the coming days, we'll have more sessions. Okay? More sessions on Maharashtra CET, wherein we'll cover all the other aspects as well. Okay, let's begin today's discussion, guys. The first type of question, because, you know, the idea was I wanted to bring different types of questions to you, so that you have a very good idea about what to expect and how much to prepare and how to approach a particular question. Okay? So the directions are here. Sentence is divided into 3 parts, 1, 2 and 3. For each part, a correction statement is given. Determine the part which requires correction. So as you can see, guys, this particular question is dependent on grammar, right? So if your fundamentals of grammar are solid, if you are comfortable with grammar, this question type you will sail through very, very easily. Now let's check what is the level of this particular question and what is being asked. So have a look. 3 statements, as you can see, are here. This is your base statement. Okay. So you have to figure out which part requires correction. Okay. So have a good look, guys. First, sorry. So first of all, have a look at the question. Tell me what is your answer, and post that we'll have a complete discussion on the methodology and we'll analyze it thoroughly. Okay. Toppers don't like to share their secrets. Not always, Kisanu. It's not like that. There, all kinds of people are there. So we cannot compartmentalize them, because toppers doesn't mean that all of them are going to be secretive, or all of them would be very, very closed, or they would be very insecure. Not everybody is like that, because I've also interacted with lots and lots of people who are high achievers. So it's not that they don't share. All kinds of people we have in the world. Okay, have a look, guys. Will that also be helpful? Prepare separately for MAHCET. Vaibhav, when you talk about SBI PO videos, error detection videos, in all those videos, if you notice, I focus on the fundamentals. So it's not that's the style that I've chosen for teaching. Everybody has a different style, and every style is suitable. Every style is a good style. But to specifically talk about my style of teaching, the pedagogy I follow, that is not merely to look at the question, but to look at the fundamentals, things that take you to that particular question. So even if you watch those videos, it's absolutely fine, because, you know, there also we're talking about the grammar rules. Once you become comfortable with them, once you feel, oh, all these rules, all these basics I'm comfortable with, then you can kind of ramp up your preparation. Okay. Nice, Sanket, we can't really compare. So both of them have different types of questions as well. So after today's class, you'll have some clarity on the level. You'll have some clarity about the types of questions. And in the coming days, like I said, I'm going to have more sessions on Maharashtra CET. Okay? Acha, here most of you, in fact, all of you are with B. I've not even managed to read the sentence, but you guys are with B, and Kisanu says it can be C also. We are going to check that, guys. So let's check the answer first, and post that we'll have a discussion on why it is the answer. So guys, it is going to be D, and let's check why. So it says only 2. Notice we have John Jocelyn told me that he does all the couples driving on trips outside of Venice. And this one says, John Jocelyn told me that he does all the couples driving on trips outside Venice. Outside of Venice, outside Venice. Both of them are fine, guys. When it comes to outside or outside of, this is a compound preposition. Outside is a preposition, off is a preposition. This is a compound preposition. This usage is also absolutely correct. Outside you already know is correct. So both of them are fine. So no correction is required here since both of them are all right. Second one, and he was sure that neither him nor his wife had been on all toll roads. Guys, you can't say him had been on all roads. Can you say that? Him had been on all roads. Cannot, because this is the subject position. What do you need? You need a subjective pronoun. What does that mean? That means he had been on all roads, right? So clearly I can't say neither him nor his wife. So neither he nor his wife had been on toll roads. And you can see here you have the correction. Okay? So second one gives you the correction on the base sentence. Third part, and have certainly not dodged any toll booths. And have certainly not dodged any toll booths. This is absolutely fine, no problem there. So only problematic part, so this is the one that proposes a correction on the base sentence. Okay? So clearly option D will become your answer. This is error spotting or sentence rearrangement. There is confusion. Achha, Sanket, you're not clear with what needs to be done here. So, see, we read the directions also. Now, I'll explain it to you. So, what they do is, and this is standard type on MAHCET. So, you find other questions also of similar type. So, what they do is, they give you one sentence. They divide it into 3 parts. Then they propose improvements on those parts. Like, as you can see in here, this is the proposed improvement on first one. This is a proposed improvement on second. This is a proposed movement on third. Proposed change as such, right? So if you notice in here, this part, second part, we had an error here and the error was corrected. So this is the correction that has been proposed and which is absolutely correct. When it comes to the first part and the third part, you don't need to change anything as such. Okay? So that is why these can't be our answers. Our answer lies here. So first of all, you have to spot the error and then you have to check which one gives you the right correction as such. Okay? All right. So now let's look at some more questions of this type so that you have more clarity. I'm going to read the directions once again. In each question given below, a sentence is given, divided into 3 parts, guys, as we saw in the previous one. For each part, a correction statement is also given. You have to determine which part requires that correction. Okay? Alright, before I take you to the question, guys, our platform Gradeup is reminding us that, guys, please do like the session. Also share the session with your friends. Share the session in all the relevant groups wherever you feel that you have like-minded people who might benefit from these sessions. Alright? Okay. Okay, guys, let's move to the next question. Same thing you have to do here also. This is the given statement, being divided into 3 parts. Proposed improvements are given to you here. Despite cold and wet conditions, which led to a decline in rodent sightings, grain growers are being warned that mouse numbers may explode in spring because the pests remain at worried levels over the winter period. What do you say? You have it's not that you only have to spot the error. You have some, some corrections also which are given to you in here. Check them and see if they're suitable. Alright, guys, have a good look. Quickly tell me which part is suitable here. So this question type tests your ability to identify the errors. That is grammar, of course. It also tests you on identifying, where is the error and how do we correct it. So error and its correction, both of them So it's not merely error identification, it is error correction as well. Aman says, explain in paragraph. Do you want me to explain the meaning of the paragraph, Aman? Please mention that. If yes, I'll go ahead with it. Okay. Acha, A's you guys are with, B's also. Some people with A, some with B. C as well. Okay, okay. So there is a lot of confusion in the chat window. Let's check different opinions on this. Still A's, B's, C's, all of them are pouring in. Let us figure out, guys. So it has to be E. That is, all of them have the errors and all three of them propose the solution, or all of them propose the correction. Chitra has said E. Only Chitra did mention E. Rest everybody was about A's or B's. Now guys, pay attention. It seems that the question type is not clear to a lot of you. Now pay attention to this. I will elaborate it bit by bit. Despite cold and wet conditions, which led to, the moment, guys, remember this, the moment you come across a verb, you know now that in a sentence verb is bound to be there, otherwise you can't have a sentence. The moment you come to a verb, the first step is to notice which tense do you have. In most cases, it's going to be either present or past. Let's make it a habit that you have to detect whether it is past or it is present. Why? Because you know a lot is gonna depend on that. It's a very common error. You have errors related to tenses, errors related to different verb types. So make it a habit that you have to detect it whether you've been directly asked about that or not asked about that. Okay. Daisy also said E. Okay. I might have missed it, Daisy. So despite cold and wet conditions which led to a decline. Guys, which tense is it? Which led to a decline. Is it past or is it present? This is past. Okay. Otherwise, you would say which lead to a decline. Lead and led. A decline in rodent sightings. Rodents are, guys, what do you mean by rodents? And through the context also you can guess the meaning of the word rodent. Grain growers are being. Notice the switch. Here we had past, but second part gives you present. Are being warned that mouse numbers may explode. Okay, which is may. Guys, you know, may is present, might is past. Might is past of may only. So this is also present. Explode in spring because the pests remain at worried levels over the winter period. All the verbs that you have, I've underlined all the verbs that we had in the sentence. All of them are in present tense. There's just one verb which is in past. So it seems that is going to be problematic because, guys, we have to maintain tense consistency. Okay? We have to maintain tense consistency. Unnecessarily, we are not going to switch the tenses from past to present or from present to past. Unnecessarily, we will not do that. So notice, look at the first one. Despite cold and wet conditions leading to a decline in rodent sightings, grain growers are being warned. Notice second part. Grain growers are being warned that mouse numbers may explode in the spring. Again, guys, notice when you talk about seasons, when you talk about summer, winter, spring, autumn, articles are not required there. Until unless you're talking about a specific season. You know na, there is a specific article, it's a definite article. When you specifically are talking about something, then you say in those winters, in the winter. Here, otherwise generally when you talk about seasons, you do not use the article the. So if you notice here, the error has been corrected. There was an error was corrected in second. I am not putting a tick here yet because I have not read the entire sentence. This looks okay, but until unless I read the entire thing, I would not be able to comment on this. So I move forward. We have because and here we have as. Because and as, both of them are fine, guys, because both of them, what do? They are reason markers. They tell you why something happened. I was unwell. I did not attend the class because I was unwell. I did not attend the class since I was unwell. I did not attend the class as I was unwell. So this doesn't change anything. This one doesn't correct anything. It is in place of because you've used as. Okay. Because the pests remain At worried levels. What do you mean by at worried levels? So are the pests at worried levels? Are the levels worried? No. So they remain at worrying levels. Worrying levels, what does that imply? That the level at which they are, the numbers that they are in, so that is very, very worrying for you. So you can't say they are at worried levels, you'll have to say they are at worrying levels. So this is also fine. This is an improvement. We had the error and we had the proposed correction. Okay. Now I'll read the entire thing. Despite cold and wet conditions leading to a decline in rodent sightings, grain growers are being... So now it's all smooth, it's all fine because we have used present participle here instead of past, and the entire sentence makes perfect sense. All three of them are the proposed corrections. Okay? All right. So let me check. All right. Okay, I hope that this question type is clear to everybody now. So it seems to me that probably in question number 1, while we were attempting it and while we were looking at 2 also, the question type was not clear to you. But I hope now the question type is clear, and that's the beauty of attempting previous year questions, guys. Because that ways, you know, our mind is already ready for what to do and what to receive. Our mind already knows that this type will come and that's what needs to be done. Otherwise, in the exam, if we go without looking at previous year papers, no matter how good we are with our basics, we'll have to spend some time. Some time will go into understanding what is being asked. Okay. Let's move forward to the next question now, guys. Next one is the directions have changed. Guys, read the directions very thoroughly. No matter what the exam is, you must read the directions, because I've seen so many students who would say, oh, error mark karna tha, I thought correct part mark karna hai, or vice versa. So we have to control the silly mistakes, and for which directions have to be read thoroughly. In the following question, sentence containing an idiom or phrase is given. Choose the alternative that best expresses the meaning of the idiom. Okay, it's a basic vocab question. I told you, MAHCET tests you on grammar, it tests you on vocabulary as well. So, you must not waste your leisure time doing nothing. Leisure time is your free time. Rather, you should engage yourself in such activities that will blow off steam and recharge you for the future endeavors. What do you say out of these? Release surplus energy, take steam bath, to make someone fidgety, to exercise the brain, or to cause distress. What do you say? Which one shall we look at here? You must not waste. And see, whenever you have questions on idioms or vocab and you have the context with you, that means, sentence is very much there. From the context, you can actually derive so much. So it says, do not waste your leisure time in doing nothing. You should engage yourself in such activities that blow off your steam and they recharge you for future endeavors. So we'll talk about it. Let me check your answers. So we have A is mostly. D also, Aman says that it can be D. Okay, let's check, guys. So it is going to be option A. How did we get to know that it's going to be A? See, when it comes to idiom, point number 1, you have to memorize their meanings. You don't have any, since there is no logic to their meaning, you have to memorize them. You have to read regularly. You have to be very, very consistent with your reading, so that, gradually your exposure that increases. But look here, we have and recharge you for future endeavors. So this is a positive thing, guys, if you're recharged for your future endeavors. So this also must be a good thing only if you blow off your steam. So to release surplus energy, it's not about taking a steam bath, not about making... What is fidgety, guys? If you make somebody fidgety, what does that mean? Fidgety. It's nothing about, causing distress. Causing distress is a negative thing. We are talking about recharging your brain. So what is fidgety? Fidgety means, guys, when you're restless. So you become very, very fidgety, you become very irritable, you keep on moving, you keep on, either moving your hands or, moving otherwise also. You have a restless energy, right? That is what fidgety is. Aman says option D. Option D is to exercise the brain. You can exercise your brain in multiple ways. Some people love to solve Sudoku puzzles, or some people love to do crosswords or other things. So these are all exercises of the brain. That has nothing to do with recharging you for your future endeavors. Like I said earlier, guys, when it comes to idioms, when it comes to phrases, you have to memorize their meaning. Okay, if you don't know what their meaning is, then it can be really troublesome to mark the correct answer. Okay. To improve reading Hindu. Sanket, when it comes to most of the exams, I would say the Hindu is the beginning point. You have to start reading the Hindu regularly, and if then CAT is your target, then you will have to move beyond the Hindu also. Right? So in the coming sessions, we'll keep on talking about what are the sources. In fact, in the previous 2 sessions, I did share some articles with you. In fact, all the questions that I'd created in the previous 2 sessions, they were from articles from Aeon only, right? Contextual vocabulary, one session on contextual vocabulary we did, the other session on grammar rules we did. So all the questions were from Aeon articles. Okay? All right. Yeah, Vaibhav, absolutely right. Absolutely. So that is a very good way of remembering the word fidgety. We used to have these fidget spinners, I think 2-3 years ago, it was very, very popular. Huh? Okay, next one then, guys. 4th one comes your way. Again, idiomatic expression. I hope you pardon my French that I used during the serious and intense discussion we were having yesterday. What do you say? I hope you pardon my French that I used during the serious and intense discussion we were having yesterday. Excuse my use of incorrect French. Excuse my inappropriate language. Excuse my untidiness. Excuse my behavior. Excuse my tardiness. What do you say? All right. DC, you have a concern regarding filling up the form, etc. I would strongly recommend, I'll also take it up with the team. I'll strongly recommend that you get in touch with the team directly. They'll guide you through it because they know all the details and how stepwise how to fill the form, etc. So I suggest that you get in touch with that team. Towards the end of the session, I'll share the number of the counselors also. Okay. Okay. So Priyadarshan says, how can we improve or read? I will talk about that. Let's talk about this question first. So you have B's, most of you with B's. Shreyansh is with E. Then we have Ruby and Aman with A also. Let's check, guys. This is going to be B. Pardon my French is an expression that you use for saying it's a euphemistic expression, guys. You understand euphemism? Euphemism? Euphemism is a polite way of saying something, right? So instead of saying that, oh, I used inappropriate language, instead of saying it directly, you kind of gift wrap it in nice ribbon, and instead you say, oh, you pardon my French, use of inappropriate language. Sometimes, when you are very, very angry, not you, but some people, when they're very, very angry, what they do is they unintentionally sometimes use bad language, abusive language, right? So that's what you say, oh, pardon my French, right? Pardon my French, you excuse my use of bad language, excuse my use of inappropriate language. It's not about incorrect French. Notice the context also tells you. Used during the serious and intense discussion we were having yesterday. So yesterday probably it was a heated debate, or it was an intense discussion that these guys were having, and because of that this person might have said something inappropriate or might have used the abusive language as such. Kisanu, absolutely. Like you say, instead of saying that, Kisanu is guys mentioning or giving us an example for euphemism. Euphemism is a polite way of saying something. So instead of saying that, oh, he died, you say he passed away, or you say he's resting in Adam's arms, right? So these are ways of saying certain things which otherwise might sound a little jarring or may not look very good to the ear. So you have polite way, a more polished way of saying these things. Okay? Okay. So cutoff for MHCET. Sanket, we are going to have a separate session on talking about cutoffs. We have all these sessions and mini shorts planned for you. So today, let's stay focused on the question types. In the coming days, like I said, in the coming week, the entire week, we are going to talk about this only. Okay? All right, let's move forward, guys. Acha, what is tardiness? What do you mean by tardy? Tardiness? When you call somebody tardy, is very tardy. What does that mean? And tardiness is the noun form of that. Very, very laid back, slow. Okay? So that is tardy. Tardiness, if you're very slow, very laid back, that is what is tardiness. Okay, next one comes your way. Passage with 3 blanks followed by 5 options, each containing 1 word is given. Choose the word that can fill all the 3 blanks. Now guys, this particular question type, it might seem to you it's a longish statement, but in most of the questions now you are able to attempt or you are able to come up to the correct answer merely by combination of slow and fast reading. Not fast and slow, slow and fast reading. Guys, I want to clear this. And probably we can have a dedicated session on how to read, what kind of reading is required in the exam. But just for this question, hear me out. Guys, there's a lot of misconception about fast reading. A lot of people say that, oh, fast reading is required if you want to clear all these exams, especially CAT and other MBA entrance exams. Fast reading is required. It's not only fast reading that is required. Yes, you have to read quickly because you have so much to read. So fast reading is required. But if you're just reading fast, you're going at high speed, you may not be able to comprehend the intensity. You may not be able to comprehend the profundity or the depth that is demanded in the passage. So we need a combination of fast reading and slow reading. And it is through practice that you would realize where fast reading is required and where slow reading is required. And for that, certainly, I'm going to share certain clues for you in the coming sessions. But notice, here they are telling you that you're going to have 3 blanks. Okay? 3 blanks, 1 word has to come in all the 3. All right. So ideally what you should do is you should work with the option choices. Start working with the first blank. If you feel that, okay, out of the 4 options, out of the 5 options, there are 2 options that cannot fit in the first blank, eliminate them and then move forward with the rest of them. Okay. So for the first blank, slow reading is required. First blank, why? Because you want to understand the context. You want to understand the connotation. These 2 things you want to understand. Context is, of course, the subject matter. What are we talking about? Connotation is whether the writer is positive about it, negative about it. So you want to have a slow reading for the first blank. Next 2 blanks you can do with fast reading also, because by that time you would have shortlisted your options. Okay. Let's check, guys. I'll show you the question now. Have a look. Have a good look, guys. Here is your statement. This is the first blank. Do not make the mistake of directly rushing to the blank. Okay? What you can do is, if the first blank comes in later and there's a lot to read before it, you can do a quick scan of this portion. But when you reach the first blank, do a slow reading. Okay, first sentence also is very important. It sets up the context, so focus on the first sentence as well. Start reading, guys. Acha, Vaibhav says, resting in Adam's arms. Resting in Adam's arms, that means, when a person passes away. This is the phrase that you use for that. It's a big question. Now, Sanket, it's not really a closed test. In closed test, you have different kinds of words, different questions on one passage. This is not your standard closed test. Okay, so let's read. Let's read the first sentence together. The subprime crisis that began in summer of 2007 should rank as one of the most traumatic global developments of the last 100 years. It caused dismay and panic throughout elite circles in developed countries as efforts to reignite confidence in financial markets were frustrated again and again. Do you see negative connotations throughout? We may not need it, but as good readers, you must be able to identify any positive or negative connotation that you witness. Okay, so most of you are with consequence C. All right. Why not A? Why is nobody saying A, guys? Why is nobody mentioning option A? Shreyansh now. Shreyansh now says A. Anyone else who thinks that it can be A also? Because notice outcome and consequence. Both of them, they mean the same. What is the outcome? What is the consequence? What is the effect? So essentially, this particular one is talking about cause effect. It was the effect. Subprime crisis is not a direct effect of subprime mortgage delinquencies. Now a lot of you are saying A. Okay. Guys, A or C, how do I decide? I agree with you that we need a word which has the same meaning as effect. Okay. It can't be proportion, because if you read further, you would realize that we are throughout we are talking about effect only. In fact, through the first blank, guys, we are able to eliminate proportion, conclusion or response. Okay. We are down to these two only. Now, how do we decide? Very good, Shashank. Very, very good. Yes, Kisanu. Absolutely. Both of them, they mean the same. But notice, second blank starts in A. Third blank starts in A. And you know the difference between A and An. A is used for consonant sounds. An is used for vowel sounds. So we do not need, outcome cannot come in here despite having the same meaning. Right? So outcome can come in the first blank, but we need one word for all the three. That means only consequence can actually fit in here. So it's not about, no Kiran, it's not about which one is strong or which one is not, because outcome and consequence, they have the same meaning. There is no difference of strength also. There is no difference of degree. You're right in thinking that sometimes, you have to decide the answer on the basis of degree, where you have a very strong word versus you have a very, very mild word. But here that was not the issue, because outcome, consequence, there is no difference in degree as such. It was only because of A and An. Notice, so here they combined. What did they combine in this particular question? They combined vocabulary, contextual vocabulary, and with a rule of grammar, with a very, very basic rule of grammar. So this is also a very, very common pattern in many exams, for that matter, that they love to combine, grammar along, with vocabulary. Sometimes in reading comprehension, they might give you questions that are based on grammar. So that is why, if you know that your exam is such that tests you on all the three elements, reading, grammar and vocabulary, you need to work on your basics. You cannot start with a mugging up approach. That is not going to help you. You have to focus on the fundamentals and the basics as such. Anyway, Priyadarshan, positive or negative? The context, the connotation of the passage is, initially we've read it was traumatic, it caused panic and dismay, and we're certainly talking about crisis only. So till the time we've read, so it is negative connotation. And if you're asking about outcome and consequence, no, they do not have any specific connotation. It will really depend on where you put them. Alright, next question comes your way, guys. Acha, this is a different question type, guys. Please focus on this one as well. Let's see. We have 5 statements that are given below, A, B, C, D, E. Among these, 4 statements are in logical order and they form a coherent paragraph. ठीक है? From the given options, choose the option that does not fit into the theme of the passage. Guys, this is out of context question. Out of context sentence. We did a dedicated session on out of context sentences, but they were specifically for CAT, wherein the sentences are also given to you in jumbled order. Here the good thing is they tell us that they are in logical order. In the right sequence they are given to us. There is one sentence that does not fit in. How do we identify the sentence that doesn't fit in? Point number 1, we check the context, right? That is subject matter. What are the sentences talking about? Then we also look, what are the other 2 elements? Is there any relationship that is being spoken about? Because in these questions, guys, it's very, very commonly seen that when you have odd one out sentence, they generally have 2 keywords, right? Not one keyword, but two keywords. So we have to figure out what is the relationship between the two keywords that are mentioned. For example, let's randomly take, they're talking about WHO and they're talking about some virus. So relationship between these two words. Okay, so we need to check what is the relationship. Is the same relationship maintained throughout? And then sometimes, of course, connotations, that is positive, negative, they also help us in eliminating the option choices. Here, everybody is with C. I've not even managed to go through these statements. Everybody is with C. I'm going to check that, and after that, I'll read the entire thing. You guys are absolutely right in claiming and in saying that C is the odd one out. Why? Because guys, notice this one is talking about Zika outbreak, whereas rest of them are talking about, notice, informed about 3 cases. If you notice, all the 4, A, B, C, D, they were talking about these cases. Notice 3 cases. Ministry acted less than responsibly, withholding the information from everyone. This one says that surveillance system put in place by ministry, identifying 3 adults. 3 adults are 3 cases only, and information regarding the cases. So E, B, A, all 3 of them are focused on cases. In fact, if you notice B also, ministry is withholding the information about the cases only, right? Whereas when it comes to C, it is talking about Zika virus, and the cases are also related to Zika virus only. But this is about, working on vaccines, and universities working on figuring out, there's a new research that is going on. So thematically, this one is something that does not fit into the context. Okay, Richie Rich, I hope that now it is clear that 4 statements are talking about the cases, people who were infected with a Zika virus, whereas there is one option that is talking specifically about the research that has gone into it. Absolutely right, absolutely right. Okay, guys, there's still some questions to go. This is not the time to leave because today I've got you around 12 questions. We've come halfway. It would be a good idea to watch till the end so that you have clarity about what to expect in the exam. Okay? Next one, same thing you have to do here also. Also, guys, please don't forget to like the session. If you've not done that already, please hit the like button before moving forward with the question. So same thing we have to do here also, guys. Read all the 5 statements. Figure out which one is odd. Generic drugs are the cheap knockoffs that help more people around the world gain access to innovative, sometimes life-saving treatments made by companies you've never heard of and sold in plain bottle with little fanfare. So we are talking about generic drugs, what they are, how they are made. Okay. It is extremely important to reduce the burden of health-related costs on common people, but instead of jumping the gun on generic medicines, alternative methods to reduce costs and improving quality of drugs should be given priority. Okay. So, but the haste shown by government in bringing this policy is odd and populist. Bringing in national medicine policy would be a simple but very effective way in controlling drug prices without taking away the choice of prescription from doctors. The policy to implement legislation for prescription of generic drugs by doctors is a good move, no doubt. I can see the pattern. While I was reading it, I was able to detect the flow. Were you able to do that also, guys? Notice all 4 or 5 of them are talking about the same thing. We're talking about generic drugs. But are all 5 sentences talking about the same? Are they going in the same direction? Not really. Let's check. Yes, Richie, we will take, we have plans for reading comprehension sessions also. Okay, B's and A's and C's. Okay, let's check, guys. Let's check, and then I'll elaborate. So it is going to be option A, because notice one thing. All 4 of them are talking about a policy that the government has introduced, which is this one, National Medicine Pricing Policy. All 4 of them are talking about national medicine pricing policy, which will govern the, which is wherein we are talking about the costs as well, right? We have prices, costs, right? So we are talking about that, but, This one, if you notice, this just talks about what generic drugs are. All four of them are talking about prescription, right? So this is a legislation for prescription of generic drugs. Notice once again, it's extremely important to reduce the burden, but instead of jumping the gun means, what do you mean by jump the gun, guys? What is the meaning of jump the gun? This is an idiomatic expression, very, very common idiomatic expression. Appears very frequently in the exams. You know now there's certain words, certain idioms which are favorites of the exam makers. So it's one of those. So jump the gun is to rush to conclusions, right? If somebody rushes to the conclusions and somebody says, no, we have to do this only. Don't jump the gun. Be patient. Okay? So jump the gun is to rush to the conclusions. So on generic medicines, alternative methods to reduce and improve the quality of drugs should be given priority. We are talking about what are the alternative methods, but the haste, notice jump the gun is the haste shown by the government in bringing this policy is odd. What is this policy? A national medicine pricing policy. It is simple but very effective in controlling drug prices without taking away the choice of prescription from doctors. And then again we talk about implementation, to implement this legislation for prescription of generic drugs by doctors is a good move, no doubt. Okay? Hanji, yes, absolutely. Okay, so I hope that this question is also clear to everybody. This one is just plain definition of generic drugs. All the others are talking about generic drugs, but we're not talking about what generic drugs are, what are the types of generic drugs, how they are made. We're talking about a policy. In the context of the policy, we are mentioning generic drugs. Okay, next one then, guys. In this particular question, a new question type. In this question, a sentence is given in bold, followed by 5 options. Which of the following options is the same in meaning as a sentence given in bold? Now, this is also a different kind of question, guys, wherein what you need to do is you have to analyze. So again, this is nuanced reading. You have to analyze every element of the sentence and you have to make sure whatever option you choose, it doesn't distort the meaning. You have to make sure that the meaning of the given sentence doesn't change. Okay? Electrification has been one of the country's standard typical structure of this type. When they give you that a sentence is given, choose the one that has the same meaning. This is a typical type. They'll say it is one of the best and the option choices will say it is the best. So you can then eliminate those options. So please remember that when somebody says that A is one of the best, one of the best students in the class, one of the best students in the class doesn't mean that he is the best. Okay? So make sure that you do not get confused here. One of the country's great successes over the past few decades. These are the important elements, guys. C and D I can notice in the option choices. Let us figure that out. So it is going to be option C. I'm going to check D also since a lot of you actually said D. Among countries' great successes over the past few decades, electrification is one. It is one of them. Okay? Electrification has been country's greatest success. Notice, I can't say it is greatest. It is one of the great success. So this one is problematic. Can't be our answer. As far as A is concerned, not many successes other than. How do we know that we don't have many successes? What we know is that it is one out of many. Right? So suppose we had all these successes, it is one out of those. But I can't say there have not been many successes. It's quite possible that we have many successes. So then we have no success has been as great as. This says when you say no success is as great as, that means it's the best. Whereas the passage or the sentence says it is one of the best. So E is also going to be out. Option C will survive. This was not very difficult. That's right. Okay, a very few questions left, guys. So far you've been doing really well. Let's check. Let's complete today's session. This one, you again have to do the same thing. Statement is given to you. Most appropriate option from the following. In this question, sentence is given in bold. You have to choose the one that gives you the same meaning. Once autonomous cars come into use, it will raise a number of issues such as who will bear the responsibility in case of an accident? He says in warning. Another typical question type. Guys, I told you right at the beginning that these are the chosen questions. That means these are the most important questions, the question types which appear and reappear in the exam. So the previous one I told you is a standard format, one of the many. This also is a standard format wherein what they do is they give a statement to you in inverted commas. Okay? It is a direct speech, and after that here they will rephrase it in indirect speech. I will do it, he said. He said that he would do it. So like that. So you don't have to change the meaning. You have to be conscious of the fact that the meaning doesn't change. Okay? So it will raise the number of issues such as who will bear the responsibility in case of an accident. So it is going to raise some issues, and the example is given to you. Who will take the responsibility? What do you say? So we have, okay, A's and B's and C's. Isanu says A for sure. Okay, we will check. Alright guys, let us check. Let's find out. So it is going to be option A. See, notice he says in warning. So we started off by saying he warned that. Very good. He warned that once all these cars come into use, it would raise number of issues such as who would bear the responsibility. Second one, he felt that. No, he did not feel. It was, he said it out. It's not about emotion. It's not about a feeling. So this beginning is problematic. But as we move forward, the responsibility of number of issues would lie with the owner. The question says that we don't know with whom the responsibility would lie, and this one says it would lie with the owner. So this is complete distortion. This one says once autonomous cars come into use, who will bear the responsibility of the accident? He exclaimed in fear. Where is the fear, guys? Where is the fear? He's warning you. Doesn't mean that he himself is scared. Huh? And here it says he despaired. Again, these are emotive words, guys. You know, despair is when you're disappointed. So nowhere is it given to you that he is feeling anything. He's fearful, he's sad, he's melancholic, nothing as such. So just on the basis of these words, please look out for the emotive words in these questions. Okay? And we'll have more discussions. Today it was just, you know, a cluster, a mixed bag of questions. From tomorrow, we'll have specific sessions on MAHCET as well. Okay, anyway, next question comes your way. Couple of questions, last 2-3 questions are left. If you want to buy a fully self-driving car, you may have to wait dash. Not very difficult. This is an easy one, guys. You have to choose the right word from the given options. You may have to wait immediately. Do you use the word immediately for wait? You'll have to wait immediately. You'll have to wait no longer. Could be if the rest of it says that okay, they are available, then we can say you'll have to wait for another decade. Yes, you'll have to wait at price. Guys, these though you can directly eliminate. After that we'll check which one comes into picture. Acha, D for this one. Okay. Problems regarding CET form fill-up. Sagnik says could not connect with any of the educational counselors. Sagnik, can you do one thing? Can you connect with me on my Telegram group? So you post your, or you know, on Telegram, on Gradeup's MBA Telegram group, post your doubt there and then I'll take it up from there. Otherwise, I'll also forget. Post it there and I'll make sure that the team, you know, the concerned person is able to help you from there. Okay? Okay. Let's check, guys. So it is going to be option D, because if you notice, it says that will initially be offered for sale, not for private owners, but to this, still so expensive. So the word still tells you that there is time, right? And then they would cost more. That means it is going to take time, and the time is mentioned here. So you'll have to wait for another decade. So this was not very difficult. This was quite easy. All right, so we have, okay. Oh, good to know that, Weber. Good to know that you're improving. Just be regular with the sessions. Like, you know, as I keep on saying every day, consistency is the key. When you're preparing for any exam, if you're consistent, if you make it your habit that every day I have to, you know, watch the 12 p.m. session. So you know that for 5 days out of 7, we'll meet and we'll discuss something. Right? So whether it is related to vocab, it's related to reading, it's related to grammar, every day we will make sure that we learn something new, and every day we'll make sure that the class is content oriented. Guys, just sharing with you, I'm very much aware of the fact that everybody is very busy. Everybody is preparing for a very competitive exam. So I'm well aware that I don't have to waste anyone's time. I don't have to waste my time. I don't have to waste your time. So I try to make sure that whatever time we spend together, it is content laden. Anyway, so Karan, every day, Monday to Friday, every day we meet at 12 p.m. That is, I and you, we meet. Apart from that, Saturday, Sunday also, exactly at 12 p.m. we have VARC classes. Okay, this is VARC class every day, 12 p.m. I see you, and Saturday, Sunday also we have special sessions, designed for you guys. Okay, all right. Yes. And why? I will give you the details of the courses that we are running, right after two more questions. Have a look. Last two questions, guys. Last two questions. So far, you guys have been doing really well. This question consists of 3 groups of sentences, 1, 2, and 3. Very good. Each of which comprises of 2 parts, A and B. Now, pay attention to the direction. We don't want to make any mistake because of misreading of the directions. Okay? Part A consists of sentence with an error, one error, or there can be multiple errors also. Part B consists of a sentence which may or may not be a correct expression. So you have 1, A and B. A is erroneous, A has an error. B may or may not correct that error. If you think that B has corrected the error, then you mark it. If you think that it has not corrected the error, it is also erroneous, then it is out. Okay? So identify the group of sentences, that is 1, 2 and 3, where error in part A has been corrected in part B, and mark the combination in your answers. Okay? All right. Sayed says, I'm trying my best, really depressing, not able to get. Sayed, one needs to realize where the flaw is, where the gap is. So do the analysis, and then probably, like I said earlier, I cannot randomly comment on, I cannot give a magic potion. So, but what I can do is, if you are ready to put in the effort, then I can suggest a particular direction, and we can work on that together. Right, so you can connect with me on Telegram group. We have the MBA Telegram group, Gradeup MBA Telegram group. I have my own personal Telegram group also. You can connect with me there, and we can have a discussion on why you are failing, or what is it that you're not able to identify. Okay. All right. Hanji, certainly, Ubaid, absolutely. The vocab sessions, yes, Savitri ma'am's vocab sessions are beautiful. They're wonderful. You guys must, in fact, the editorial sessions also in the morning. So you must attend all these sessions, depending on how much time you have. There are multiple sessions that we have in here. Okay. So guys, let's move to this particular question type. Last 2 questions for the day, guys. All your energy here. We have 1, 2, and 3. Please read. If the errors of A are corrected in B, that you will shortlist as an option, and similarly you'll move with 2 and 3 as well. Okay. Karan, no, we don't have one-on-one classes right now, but we do have multiple courses, and like I said, every day in any case I see you guys exactly at 12. And you can check out the previous sessions also if you've missed out on them. We've had sessions on parajumbles, we've had sessions on para-completions, vocabulary, multiple sessions we've taken. Hanji, certainly, Al Capino. Okay, so certainly, I love critical reasoning. That is one of my strong suits. I just love parajumbles. I love reasoning and inference questions, assumption questions. So probably in the coming days, I'll have a session with you guys on inference and critical reasoning also. Okay, not tomorrow, because Al Capino, what we do is we already plan for next couple of days. So for next couple of days, the plan is set. Yes, but I do have it in my mind that I have to do inference and logical, logical consistency, logical inference, assumption-based questions. Probably in the coming days, I'll plan it. Don't worry. Be regular with the sessions. Everything will be covered. Nothing actually is going to be left out. Okay, Sanket is with C. Daisy is very quick with D. Okay. Puneet, hello, welcome. Vanya with A. All kinds of answers, guys, huh? Aditya also with A. Take your time, guys, and then tell me what should be the answer. C's, D's, A's so far. A, C, D. Okay, let us check, guys. Let's figure out the correct one. So, has to be option A here. So let's check why it is option A. So option A says only 3. Guys, you have to be very particular about these options also. If you remember, yesterday we did the session on contextual vocabulary. On YouTube we did this contextual vocabulary, high frequency words. Therein also I told you that you have to be very careful about the options. Sometimes A will say B, A will say 1, B will say 3. C will say 5. So be very, very particular in marking the answers also. Notice, economists are struggling. So far it seems fine. Struggling establish. Economists are struggling to establish. So economists have struggled to establish. Apart from that, guys, so it seems that this is going to work. This is going to be fine because here there was a problem. But do you see there's another problem as well? Do you see? Casual. So casual, what does casual means? Casual is not serious. So you're very casual in your work. You're not a serious student. You have a very casual approach to preparation. That means you're not serious. Here, are we talking about casual? It says economists are struggling to establish, or economists have struggled to establish a casual line between two factors. No. What should be the word, guys? A causal line. Causal. Cause-effect relationship. Cause-effect relationship. Right? So it was a wrong word. See how smart they are. They're playing upon words because they sound very similar now, or they look very similar. They don't sound similar, but they look very similar. So they played upon that. It was a trap. It was a trap for us. Remember yesterday also in a high frequency words, guys, I told you about veracious and voracious. They are also similar words. They look very similar. So be very, very mindful. Such nuances are for traps only. And this is a common pattern we have seen across these examinations, especially MBA entrance examinations, that they play upon these similarities. Last year also, affect, effect, right? Affect, effect, they sound very, very similar. So be very, very careful. Acha, next one. The changes may have came. Array. Guys, you know, when you have has, when you have, when you've had, after that, third form of verb comes into picture. Third form. And with come, it is come, came, come. First form, second form, third form. So first and third form of the verb, in this particular context, they stay the same. So changes may have come. You can't say changes may have came, right? The changes came just in time as officials saying better. So second one is also distorted. You can't say changes came just in time as officials saying better welfare distribution, right? So both of them are problematic. Third one, prominently in 1980s and early 90s, this question has in recent years, again because, again structurally there is a problem. There is a misplacement of the words. Notice next one, prominent in 80s and 90s. What was prominent in 80s and 90s? Right after the comma, we have that thing. This question was prominent in 80s and 90s. So in the coming days, guys, when we do a session on grammar, I will explain this structure also. There's a very common structure wherein you have some information, you have a comma, right after the comma you have the subject. We'll talk about this also. So this question has in recent years again become one of the hottest in economics. This is absolutely fine. This is the right structure. This is the right syntax. The problem with third one was syntax was not proper. Arrangement was of the words was not proper, and we did not want because clearly. Okay. All right, guys. So our next question, last question of the day, guys, is here. Same thing you have to do for this one as well. You have three parts, A and B. A is erroneous, B is the proposed correction. If you feel that B has corrected the errors of A, then you choose it as the answers. Okay. All right, guys. Bhuvanesh, look at the question, please. So you have 3 parts, A and B. Have a good look, guys. Have a good look. In sectors such as healthcare and food services where automation is relatively difficulty. It is in sectors such as healthcare and food services where automation is relatively difficult. The risk is that without sufficient investment of training, many workers will lost their job. It is risky that without sufficient investment in training, many workers will lost their jobs. Okay, as other bodies, the agency will report to the parliament, which is control them. Agency will report to the parliament, which control them as other bodies do. Okay, what do you say? Out of these questions, out of these statements, guys, where do you think that B has corrected the errors of A? Okay. Daisy, as usual, is very quick in responding. Very, very good, Daisy. Let's wait for others also. Okay, Al Capino is with D. Okay, B's and D. B and D so far. We'll wait for others as well. All right. This one, these questions, guys, they are a little demanding because you have to be very, very clear in identifying the errors, and then you have to know how to correct them also. I told you now with the first question also, I told you that it's not merely error identification. It is error identification and error correction as well. It's a combination of the two. Acha, we have B's, we have D's, we have C's. Lots and lots of options. Let's find out, guys. Let's find out. It is going to be B, that is only one. Only one corrects the errors. Okay. In sectors such as healthcare and food services where automation is relatively difficulty, guys, you can't say relatively difficulty. Why can't you say that? Now pay attention. Relatively. Words that end in ly. They are mostly adverbs, not in all cases, guys. We don't have 100% rules in English, but this is a good indicator. This is a good sign that a word is ending in ly. It's likely to be an adverb. Relatively is an adverb. Difficulty. What is difficulty? Guys, it's a noun. You know, adverbs don't modify nouns. What modifies nouns? Nouns are modified by adjectives. Okay, adverbs can modify 3 things. Adverbs can modify verbs, adverbs can modify other adverbs, adverbs can modify adjectives also. So this combination is wrong, and here notice they have corrected it. Relatively is an adverb, difficult is an adjective. Adverbs can modify the adjectives. Okay, I hope this part is clear to everybody. So B has corrected the error in A. Okay. And as far as second one is concerned, they will lost their job. Guys, you know that when you have will, when you have shall, after that first form of verb comes. Will and shall are followed by first form of verb. Lost is not first. They will lose their job. So same problem in both of them. So clearly it is out. Okay. And this one says, as agency will report to the parliament which control them. Parliament is singular. If it is singular, it will have singular verb which controls them. So clearly this is also out. Only B will survive. That is only one. Right? So with that, guys, we have very, very successfully looked at all the questions, all the very important question types from MAHCET. In the coming days, guys, I'll come up with dedicated sessions on MAHCET. Today we looked at the variety. Now we'll start with focused approach. We'll do topic-wise discussion when it comes to this particular exam. So make sure that you are regular with the sessions. Every day we meet at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. is the time for VARC. Do not miss this session, and it's on YouTube. Apart from that, guys, I'll also see you today at 6 p.m. on the app. Okay? All right, so guys, we have this MAHCET MBA crash course. Some of you were asking about this. So we have launched it very, very recently. This is a crash course, but like I said earlier, it's a crash course, but in no way is it missing out on anything. So it's a comprehensive, it's a complete course as such. It will give you live classes, PDFs will be there, practice questions, mock tests, everything is going to be part of it. This is a number of our counselors. You can speak to our counselors if you have any queries. As such, Weber wants me to repeat part 3. Part 3. Parliament is singular, na? Parliament is singular. Singular subjects will require singular verb. Ram sings. You can't say Ram sing. Na? So Parliament which controls. Okay. So which books to start with, Karan? Karan, you know, here also we are going to have every day we are going to have classes, so through this also you can try and improve. Apart from that, there are multiple courses wherein step by step we build the foundation and then we start with the practice questions. If you specifically want a book, pick up any grammar book. I would say, if you specifically talking about fundamentals now, pick up any grammar book that you have from your school. I think everybody has Wren and Martin, we used to refer to it back in school, so you can refer to it also. You can start with it. Okay. Okay, all right, Kisanu, bye-bye. I also need strong coffee now, absolutely. Okay, so Acha, Daisy has already resolved that doubt. Thank you, Daisy. Next one, guys, you have flat 50% off. This is the last day, guys. Today is the last day for flat 50% off. This is EOM50. You can use this particular code to avail the discount on Gradeup Super. And like I said earlier, you can talk to a counselors on this particular number. Then here are the courses for June. We have a crash course for MAHCET. We have a SNAP course. We have a CAT course also, right? So you can check all of these out. Then Gradeup, what are the courses that are covered under Gradeup? Super subscription. So you have CAT courses, you have other MBA exam courses also. So you don't have to specifically enroll in one course. If you are eyeing CAT and along with that you want to appear in other MBA entrance exams also, so you can just opt for super subscription, and under one roof you will find all the classrooms as such. Here is a list of all our mentors. You have seen them, you've interacted with them, you've attended their free sessions on YouTube as well as on the app, so I don't need to speak any further about that. Then apart from that, guys, if you are somebody who's preparing for CAT 2021 or you're somebody who's eyeing the CAT next year, we have both the categories covered. So both of them are under the super subscription as such. So apart from that, somebody was asking about free mocks. So we have All India free live mega mock challenge for Maharashtra CET, guys. See, I always tell you that these All India mocks, it's always a very good idea to take All India free mocks, because that ways you get a very good assessment of where you stand. How prepared are you? So this is on 3rd. This is from 3rd of July to 5th of July, exactly at 12. So you can check this one out as well. Apart from that, guys, another thing that you get free internet if you subscribe to Gradeup Super. And that is it for the day. Guys, do like the session. If you liked the video, if you think that the content that is brought to you is meaningful, then guys, do show your love and appreciation by hitting the like button. If you're watching this video in recorded form, you can leave any comment, any concerns, any issues, any feedback that you have in the comment section. And also, guys, share the video in as many groups as you can, in the relevant groups, of course, where you feel there are like-minded people who might benefit from it. So share it there, and also subscribe to the channel if you've not done that already. So you can follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Telegram. We are available. We are, the team is very, very responsive. So any queries you have, you can reach out to us on the number as well. So Telegram also, we have a very, very vibrant group. It is very, very active. You can join the Telegram group for any notification. Instagram these days, everybody is very active. So there also you get to know all the things that we are doing and we are planning. So that is it for the day, guys. I'm going to see you tomorrow exactly at 12. Do not miss out on the session tomorrow. From tomorrow, we are starting a dedicated preparation for MAHCET. Bye-bye, guys. Take care.